Finally. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Tyler Hoechlin. Alright guys, so the way this is going to work is I'm going to ask a couple of questions to kick the panel off, then it will be your turn. If you've got questions for the Supergirl cast, you can line up now. There are mics here on my left and here on my right as well. While you're waiting, if you could sit, just so that people can see it in the back there. Thank you very much. So guys, welcome, how you all doing?
Doing really well.
What's it been like this weekend, meeting all the fantastic Supergirl fans?
Amazing. I mean, I've never had a bad time at these concerts. Everybody's so sweet. I didn't see one person dressed as Banshee though, that was a little disappointing.
No Silver Banshee cosplayers out there? Come on guys, next year.
I was dressed as a Banshee yesterday, but you missed that, so it's all good. I've had a great time. This is my second time doing Heroes and Villains, and you guys are the best fans in the world. I gotta tell you, I've never really...
Give me some round of applause, come on.
I've never had so much love and appreciation and gratitude given to my face, so thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
This is my first Heroes and Villains, and you guys have been great. Thank you guys so much for showing us so much love this weekend, and hopefully you guys had a good time.
Wait, did you guys have a good time? Good.
And Mehcad and Italia, you guys were a part of the show from the first season. Tyler, you came on in season 2. What has it meant to you having Supergirl be part of your lives?
I'll start. When I first got the role of James Olsen, I auditioned for the role, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, man, because I'm not the traditional image of what James Olsen is, and I just kind of thought it was one of those things in Hollywood where they're being nice and like, you know, like they're seeing everybody. They're like, yeah, we got a Mexican guy and a black guy and this guy. They walk into a bar, right? Like, but as time went on, I realized that they were actually taking that seriously. And there was this big, overwhelming feeling of hope once I got the role. And it's just been, that's progressed, and it's been really, really fruitful in my life and my spirit. So it's been kind of amazing.
I had never been given the opportunity to play pretend so hard than when I was Banshee. Like, I didn't know what to expect. So once I was in the costume, and it was the first crossover episode with The Flash, and I was standing there and I was like, oh God, what the hell am I supposed to do? And I forget that it's not actually happening, you know? So we've got Grant coming in and they're like, okay, Flash arrived, and he just goes like this, and I'm like, what the hell? And Melissa, like, take off, and she just like jumps and then lands and then runs away, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, and then I was like, we have to play pretend. I felt like I was 4 years old, and I was just out of my mind. It was so much fun. Once you let go and realize how ridiculous you feel is appropriate and it'll look good on camera, you forget that they're real humans. I'm like, oh shit, she doesn't actually fly.
No, that actually happens to me. That happens to me when I go, you can't fly?
I know.
I'm disappointed.
So I like that it made me feel like a kid again, like just full blown the best game of dress up I've ever played. And then of course the whole new fandom of having, you know, I would never have been a part of this universe if it wasn't for Banshee, or maybe, who knows in the future. So I'm grateful for all of that.
Yeah, it was for me coming in on the second season. It was nice to show up on a set. It was the first time I was on a show where it wasn't from day one, and you know, to have people like Mehcad there, who we met at Comic-Con, actually before we even started shooting, to feel very welcome into this family was nice, given that the response wasn't completely positive when I got it. So it was nice to have, you know, their confidence and everything, and to be excited to go up there and you know, the challenge to play that character. And it's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed every day of working on it, and you know, ever since everyone's seen it, you know, hopefully they've enjoyed it, and it's been nice to be a part of that world. So it's just been a good time.
And you guys, of course, you all have your very distinctive looks as your characters. I know it takes like something like 5 hours, right, to get made up as Silver Banshee?
5 hours to put it on, and then 1 hour to take it off.
I got to say that she was a soldier every time. She'd show up in a onesie, and then 5 hours later, I'm like, who is this alien? Like, it's crazy.
Mehcad, how is it shooting in full Guardian get-up? How is that?
It was really difficult at first, because the suit, we've had 5 variations of the suit. The first one was a onesie itself, and I was like, this is not gonna work, because every time I try to stand up, I become a eunuch. And then, some of you guys know history, that's good. And then, so we've had 5 variations of the suit, but it's actually really comfortable now, because I've worked very hard to make sure I can run and jump and punch people in it, which is great. But I still can't see, so I'm like, so that happens a lot. So, but they cut that out luckily.
Good. And Tyler, it's got to be amazing, right, putting on that red and blue suit.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's weird. It's weird when you walk on set, realize that people are calling you Superman, and that they have to believe it because you're shooting. So it's a really strange, surreal feeling for sure. But I will say, on your point, the most humbling thing you will ever do is, in the middle of a scene, say the line to the bad guy of like, "We'll be back," and then jump in the air and immediately land on the ground while they go, "Okay, freeze. Now Tyler, exit," and then you just trot off camera so they can resume the scene. It's the most humbling experience ever, because you feel so stupid dragging your cape on the ground, hearing it like go across the concrete, going like, I wish I could just actually fly away, because it would feel so cool, but now I feel really lame.
And imagine being the actor in the scene, watching him do that, and trying to keep a straight face. I deserve an Emmy.
Oh, I had to, when I was screaming as Banshee, there was never actually noise coming out of my mouth. I was doing this, and they had a guy with a blast fan shooting air in my face, and so there's no noise. I just look ridiculous, like I'm throwing some sort of fit. And then they just put the sound. I think I screamed once just to get a reaction out of Callista, and then that was it.
I think I have a video somewhere, maybe my old phone, of you walking up and going.
To Jeremy. Yeah.
But what I never understood was this: they would blow the fan in your face, so your hair was going back, but the voice was going this way. I was like, that doesn't make sense in physics.
Oh, that's the only thing that doesn't make sense on the show? Physically.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
There's the magic of Supergirl thoroughly dispelled there, thank you guys. All right, let's get some fan questions. We'll start on this side over here. So, what's your question?
First of all, Tyler, I love you. Thank you. I watched you from Teen Wolf for years.
Thank you.
What was it like changing your character from Derek compared to Superman?
I got to smile for the first time in like 5 years, which was cool. That was nice. Yeah, I had to shave though. That was the downside. I'm not gonna lie. That was definitely the downside. But it was fun. It was definitely a completely different character. You know, Derek's one who's fighting to have even just a piece of hope, and you know, Superman is kind of the one who's completely full of that. So it was a completely different character, but the experience was equally gratifying. I would say it was. You know, both sets were a lot of fun, and the people were great. Most of my great friends are from either or set, so.
We just met.
We
literally just met.
We're already best friends, yeah. We need a Superman Banshee team up, that needs to happen soon, right?
I'm stuck in jail. They can bring me back whenever they want.
We'll get her out.
Writers, producers, great
I'm
relationship.
gonna ask, because that'd be great. You were so much fun on set. Yeah.
It's just because I got you a onesie.
She got me a onesie. I still wear it. Yeah, I do. People ask me to pull it up all the time because it looks horrible on me, but I still wear it. Yeah.
We were very excited to hear that you're coming on to the DCTV. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Yes, The Flash, what is your question, sir?
Hi, my name is Sun. I'd like to thank you for being here at this massive event and making it bigger than ever.
Thank you, brother.
I've got 2 questions. Question 1, out of everyone that worked on the set, who's the biggest prankster?
So who's the biggest prankster on the Supergirl set?
I'm gonna say it's
You.
yeah. I'm gonna say it's between me and Chris Wood. but probably me. Because I don't care.
Can you remember, what's the best prank you've ever pulled, Mehcad? Are you allowed to talk about this?
PG.
It's PG rated.
No.
Right?
I mean, we have really, really long days. Like, we work really hard to bring you guys entertainment, and it's 14-hour, 15-hour days sometimes. So we do have people that fall asleep on set sometimes. So when you do that around me, I might tend to put stuff on your face and then film that and send it to the group that we have as castmates. And maybe, but yeah, I have a lot of pranks that I won't tell you about. I'm sure if the cast would like that. But I will tell you one story, and I have it on film. Jeremy Jordan got really afraid. What was it? It was a villain that she was like jumping through. But anyway, he got really afraid of her one time, and he ended up farting. Like a little poop. It was just like, bang! Like during the scene on her cover, she goes, I can't work like this. This is ridiculous. And so I never let him live that down, but he doesn't deserve to. So.
Amazing. And yes, you had a second question.
My second question is for Tyler. If you weren't Derek from Teen Wolf, who else would you be?
Like what other character would I have liked to play?
Yeah.
I always, I always say Styles, because I thought Styles had the most fun. Yeah. I always felt like he had the most fun on the show. So, you know, Derek was always very serious, so I thought that character was just the complete opposite. So I always thought it would have been a fun way to switch things up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Simon, and I've got a question for each of you. Mehcad, I was wondering, what was it like to be in the crossover as, you know, a vigilante, you're a freedom fighter on the Earth X crossover?
You're absolutely right. But I've always had an issue with the phrase freedom fighter, because a firefighter fights fire, right? Does a freedom fighter really fight freedom?
Say that 5 times fast.
Does that make you an incarceration fighter? I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, but it was cool playing something different a little bit. Like I got to have facial hair for the first time in like 85 years. That was great. Opposite of you. They put a scar on my face, and thank you. Yeah, that's true. I did that. Thank you. Thank you for that painful memory. Yeah, thanks, man. Oh, appreciate it. But my suit was actually cooler, and I was like, "Can we keep the suit? Like, can this be the normal Guardian suit? Because this is dope." And they said no. So I don't have any power.
And Tyler, what is it like to work with Melissa and Chris?
Melissa and Chris, they're terrible. They're terrible. Mehcad's the only one I like. Yeah. No, they're great. I always say about Melissa, I don't think they could have cast. She's kind of that energy all the time. So for a set, like Mehcad said, it's very long days. You kind of need someone that has to be there every day to kind of be that energy in order for a show like that to work. So she's really just kind of a joy to work with. And Chris was great. The first time I was there, he was in a coma. The character, not Chris. And so I didn't really get to speak with him as much. But when I got to come back in the finale, we finally got to kind of get to know each other a little bit, got to work together a couple days on set. And so it was really nice to know them. And it's just, I mean, like I said, the whole cast has really just been such a treat to work with. So I don't have a bad thing to say about anybody.
Tyler, what was it like to act as Cara Danvers' nemesis, Supergirl?
I felt so bad being mean to Melissa. And I was like, it's not me, it's my lines. But she's so sweet, and it was so fun. She's so nice to work with. Like you said, she's like the best team captain. So I was very grateful for her, and then the role was just so fun, and she was so fun to play with, and yeah, it was great.
3x match. And back to this side. Yes. What's your question? Thank you.
Hi, one for you guys. I had 2 questions. What is the outcome of Kara and Alora's meeting again?
That's a spoiler.
Treading into spoiler territory there.
I appreciate you as a journalist. However, I would get fired, so.
Right. My next question is for Tyler. How would you feel about Lois Lane coming on to Supergirl?
I'd like to meet her.
Wait, who would you guys like to see as Lois Lane?
That's a good question.
I don't know. The past Lois Lanes from all the movies and TV shows have all been so great, so I don't know how it would be to top that.
Shelley from Teen Wolf.
Shelley Hennig? Yeah? Anybody? Okay, couple.
All right, we'll call Shelly.
I'll shoot her a text after this. We'll see what's going on.
We'll make it happen. Yes, back up here. What's your name and what's your question?
Hi, I'm Angel. I'm from Greece. How young woman earlier. Yeah. My question is for everyone. Do you have a fun behind-the-scenes moment working with Melissa?
That girl eats so many donuts.
Crazy.
That's all I remember, is just eating donuts behind the scenes. That's all we did.
What about the rest of you?
It's not, maybe not behind the scenes, but kind of just you guys don't see it, because when you see it, there's laser beams coming out of our eyes. But the scene where her and I had to fight, how hard we both had to try not to laugh while we circled each other, while they said stare harder. I don't think I've ever had to try so hard not to break, because they would count down to 3 and then we both just go. And they just keep our eyes as wide as possible while we circled around each other for about 30 seconds. And after every single take, we both about fell down laughing. I think that was my favorite moment, just even being on that set. That was so fun.
That's just a staring contest, right? No vision. You're basically just a
It's the
staring
most
contest.
intense version of a staring contest you could ever have.
I don't think I could do that.
There's so many. Look, okay, so what you guys have to understand about Melissa, she's like the perfect blend between Kara and Supergirl. Like take pretty much the best parts that you like about Kara and take the best parts you like about Supergirl and put that together, and that's Melissa Belaunch. That's who she is. That's really who she is. Like, we're not just saying that. With that said, there was one time when I'm in a harness, she's in a harness, and Jeremy Jordan's in a harness, and she's catching us from a falling building. She catches me first, flies me over, grabs Jeremy, and so this took about 2 hours in a harness. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen actors in a harness, but like they put this whole thing on you, and like you're strapped up through your shirt in the back, and the whole thing is green, so like you can't see it on the green screen. But you're basically being held up by like a bungee cord crane thing. And Melissa, I remember, so she has her arm around me like this, around my waist. And I'm like twice Melissa's size. And she's got Jeremy right here, and she's like, sorry for emasculating you guys. I'm like, it's okay, babe, fine, all right.
On that note, actually, I have my favorite behind the scenes. Because this one, you just brought that up. We were getting ready to do a scene where we like drop into frame. So we were both hooked up to a wire that takes us up to the ceiling. And they told us that they were gonna test it. She didn't hear them. So her and I are mid-conversation, and I know they're about to pick us up. And she had no clue. So in the middle of a sentence, they just lift us up really fast. And she was like, woo! And it was the greatest like grandma kind of scream that just went throughout the whole warehouse, and I never knew that's how she expresses being freaked out. But I learned that day, and I laughed for like a good 20 minutes. It was so fun.
Thank you for being here.
How about this story?
Yes,
That was
great.
by the
Hi
way.
there. So I actually have a Teen Wolf question for Tyler, if that's all right.
Can Mehcad answer it?
What?
Or can they answer it?
Well, if you want.
Tell you what, ask the question, I'll answer it incorrectly, and then he'll correct me.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
So how did you feel about going back to Teen Wolf and needed to keep it a secret for so long?
It was hard because, I mean, straight up, honestly, I gotta tell you, like I have a huge mouth, I can't keep secrets. And, you know, all my friends hate me because of that. And, you know, I'm a savage. It is what it is.
I have no corrections. It was really fun. It was really fun to go back. It was great to kind of, you know, wrap up that whole thing and say goodbye to everybody there and get to play with those guys one last time. But yeah, I think somebody snuck a picture of Dylan and I playing catch on set one night, and that was kind of like circulating around and everything. So, you know, we usually do a pretty good job of not spoiling anything. It's usually Twitter or Instagram that ends up doing that. But it was nice to go back and hopefully get it secret from enough people.
Thank you.
On the point of comebacks, actually, who would like to see Silver Banshee and Superman back on Supergirl?
That's enough. That'll get it done.
Can I vote?
You're allowed to vote. You're allowed to vote.
I'd like that, that'd be dope.
Guys, what do you reckon? What are the chances of you guys reappearing in the future on Supergirl?
Well, my show just got canceled, so.
Call the writers now. Honestly, tweet the writers, tell them you want Silver Banshee back.
Start a petition.
Start a petition.
I'll give you 10%.
You're my new age.
I'd say there's about 15 people you'd have to ask if that's possible first, but I would love to come back. It's always, like I said, it's a really fun set, so anytime would be a good time.
I want to come back to Siobhan though. Just a little less time in hair and makeup. I'll do a Banshee when she's real angry. And then
You should just block shoot Banshee for like 2 days.
it was a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think I showed up at set on like 2:30, 3 in the morning, 5 hours hair and makeup, then shooting for 12 hours, and I couldn't eat anything when I was in that because I had prosthetics on my lip, so I was just drinking through a straw. It was so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, your husband had the baby burger food, right?
I was sleeping.
Yes, next up, what's your question?
Hi, so my question is actually about James and the relationship he had with Kara in season 1. I feel like there was a lot of build up to it, and then it just seemed to get retconned at the beginning of season 2. So I was wondering what was going on with that? Like, was there a particular reason why they decided to go down? Considering how much Monal has admitted himself that he was a misogynistic piece of crap when he went to Kara, anyway. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, I was there. I saw it. Yeah.
Thoughts on that? What were your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. I honestly have the exact same question that you had for some people who are no longer with the show. But I think that I don't want to make news here. I'll say this. I will say that I think that we had a showrunner at the time that was not allowing a lot of other opinions in. And he saw something one way, and it didn't really matter what we had shot. It just was like not really dealt with. So I don't have an answer for you. I had that same question for a long time, and I think the show is a lot more free now. I'll say that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question.
In Monel's defense, he has been on a journey. He's grown, Monel, as a character.
Yeah, yes. And I mean, listen, Chris Wood is just, I mean, he's my second favorite human being after Tyler. But, you know, you're my third. You're tied with my mom.
She's a goddess, though. It's not like
Yeah, you're not a person.
Ooh,
You're
good
a goddess.
save, you're good.
Well, you knew that. You know I felt that way about you, girl.
Yes, oh, hello. Amazing outfit. What's your question?
Oh, wow, look at you.
Hi, my name is Yvonne and my question is for Italia.
Yes.
Do you enjoy being a villain?
Do I ever? Do you enjoy being a villain? You're kind of.
Yeah.
There you are. It's fun. It's kind of fun to be bad. I do like being a villain, and especially because you know what's going to happen. So, because I'm mean in real life, because I don't know what's going to happen, so I have to save it for the screen. But it was great, and I didn't end up I got to do the fighting and the falling off the building. I actually did. They had me on the wires and I went up like 60 feet. So I got to like really, really do some fun stuff and play and almost hit. I think I had to punch Melissa and I just screamed at Grant. It was great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, what is your name and what is your question?
My name is Lizzie. Hello.
Hi.
I have two questions, if that's okay.
We're at the same time.
I can try.
I was kidding. That's a weird question. It's weird of me to say that. Sorry.
I'll give it a go. My first question is, if you had Supergirl or Superman's powers, who in the world would you use them on? And then my second question is, what advice would you give to any aspiring actors in the
Wait.
Last call.
Hey, last call. And the thing goes. Sorry, can you ask your second question again?
Second question.
Thank you.
Is, what advice would you give to any aspiring actors in the world?
And I actually need the first question again. What? You did it, by the way.
I try my best.
Okay, you did it perfectly.
You did a great job.
If you had Superman's powers, who would you use them on?
Yeah. I've got a couple of ex-boyfriends. And then the second one was?
What advice would
Advice. Oh, do your homework. Be prepared and be respectful.
I've already failed.
Oh, God.
You got good timing though. That's good.
Thank you.
For acting, I'd say don't be afraid to commit to your ideas. I think, especially when you start auditioning for like jobs, you can fall into a place where you feel pressure to think about what they want to see, as opposed to what you just feel is your instinct. So I find that if you commit to your idea of something, it's a lot easier to say no, and for you to accept that it's at least your idea. It'll really bother you if you try you think they want, and then they still say no, because then you walk away going, I never even tried what I actually wanted to do, I just tried to be a version of what I thought they wanted. So then you never really gave yourself a chance. So just find what speaks to you and commit to that.
You just got inspirational advice from Superman, by the way. I think that's pretty amazing.
I feel inspired.
The Superman powers? I'd probably use them to help myself, because I need it. No, who would I help?
Oh my God, you're so much better than me. I was like, who can I hurt?
I'm trying to think. I would use it to help her ex-boyfriends, because it sounds like they need it.
That's great. If I had Superman's powers, I would do two things. I would use that superpower, that strength, to gather up a bunch of food and take it to food insecure places. One.
Guys are so good.
And I would heat vision Donald Trump's thumbs so he couldn't tweet. It wouldn't kill him. It wouldn't kill him. It would not kill him. It just he wouldn't have any thumbs.
I'll do it.
He wouldn't have any thumbs, so we wouldn't get the Twitter feed. So that would be good. I think it'd be a good thing for the world. And as an actor, the one thing I can say to anybody who wants to be an actor is that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. We make it look easy, but it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not easy. So anything that you want in life, you can get that, but you have to be willing to persevere in that race. So I don't think it's easy, but just keep going. It's not hard work, it's just a lot of work. So they're just like anything else, right? You wanna be a good doctor, you go to school. You want to be a good actor, you do your homework. You make sure that you're doing what speaks to you as an actor. And just remember, it's a marathon. And if you really want to be an actor, since I think you do, since you asked the question, and you have great timing, I think you should pursue that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, over here, what's your question?
Hi, my name is Chloe. I'm from France. Hello.
Salut.
And I want to say that you look amazing, and thank you for everything that you do, because you don't realize how much impact it has on the like Teen Wolf, Chasing Night, or Supergirl. It's amazing. And so
Thank you.
so my question is for Tyler. Will we get to see more of Superman in the future?
I always answer that question with, no matter what, I can't say yes and I can't say no. But I always just say hopefully. I always have a lot of fun up there, so if I can get a chance to go back, I would love to. But I guess you'll know when I know.
Yeah. And earlier in his panel, Stephen Amell said that he would love to work with you, maybe on Silver. So, would you like it?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to see? Would you like to see Tyler have his own show?
Right, Superman spin-off, right?
Would you guys like to see Superman come on after Supergirl, starring Tyler Hoechlin? Tweak that. Let's make that happen.
He'll give you 10%.
Yep.
He's like five.
Come back and do this whole thing again. Everybody gets a fair share.
Thank you, love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you.
Yes, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Beth. My question is actually for Mehcad. I wanted to know your opinion on James and Lena's relationship.
My opinion?
Yeah.
I like it. As far as personally, Katie McGrath is one of my best friends. She's a light of a human being. She's a pillar of the community, whichever community you want, and she is a national treasure. She's really.
He's really not a big fan of hers.
Yeah, she sucks. No, but she one of the highlights of my career is going to work with Katie. Like she's an amazing person, and I think James Olsen had a pretty rocky sort of relationship with her brother Lex. So anytime somebody's brother tries to kill you, it's not really gonna. You may not trust the sister. So I think a lot of people go, "Oh, you guys had a pretty dysfunctional relationship at first." Well, your brother tried to kill me, so I mean, you're lucky I'm talking to you. So, but I think that now, we've been really honest with each other, very respectful, and told each other the truth about our own secrets, which is big if you're in a relationship. As you guys know, admitting your fears to each other is the biggest things. So I think we're actually the healthiest relationship on the show, I believe.
Tyler, how do you think Clark would feel about his best friend dating the sister of his arch enemy?
Yeah, how do you feel?
Carry the two.
I mean, it's pretty much your cousin or the nemesis of the friend, so I don't really have too many choices.
It's complicated. But I think he trusts Jimmy enough. I think I give him credit there.
Thank you.
And you can always heat vision her if she gets
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, right? We can get rid of her, but hopefully it doesn't have to come to that.
Thank you very much. Yes, over here, what's your name and what's your question?
My name's Harry, and my cousin Alex wants to know, can you give just one word to describe your entire experience as a girl?
One word.
Yeah.
Super.
I would say ridiculous, in the most fun way, but ridiculous.
I'm gonna combine both of those words, and I'm gonna say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Technically, that is a word. That is a word.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, over here, what's your question?
So, question for...
Wait, hold on. Can I see you say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Very well done.
That was awesome.
Sorry, go ahead.
So for Mehcad and Tyler, since Supergirl is a world where Superman and Jimmy Olsen have had other adventures off screen, how much work did the two of you either do together or with the writers to talk about how much Superman has done already?
I called Tyler incessantly for months, and he never called me back. I showed up to his house a few times. He called the police. There was one time, well, never mind. It's against. I mean, the restraining order just got lifted, so I'm serious about my job. You know what I'm saying? No, honestly, like we met at Comic-Con in San Diego, and we just really hit it off. And like we're like, oh, bro, we're best friends. Cool. It's over. So like we didn't really have to do that much work. Yeah.
The amount of experience that Superman had was a conversation that I had, you know, with Greg and with some of the writers. So I think we knew that. Our relationship, that's kind of the best way of putting it. I think we hit it off so quick at Comic-Con and became such good friends right away that we didn't have to really do too much explaining of it. It's just like, okay, we know what this is. These are buddies. And so I think the main thing we did was coming up with our handshake. And that was a...
Still remember?
Oh, yeah.
Don't mind me.
So that was our study. We were figuring out our handshake. But yeah, it's just it's nice when you need to have a relationship on a show and it kind of forms easily on its own. And you don't have to do too much other than just go, yeah, we know what it is. Thank you.
Great question. Thanks, brother.
Yes, over here. What's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name's Emily, and my question's for Tyler. First of all, I love you so much, and thank you. And I wanted to sort of do like a Teen Wolf Superman crossover and say, what's your favourite part about playing Superman?
What answer goes for both of them?
Well, like, what's the difference between your...
What's the difference?
Yeah.
My favorite part of playing Superman... is when we're on set and there's like a bunch of little kids that are around and you get to go over and like say hi and then take a picture with them, and for a second they actually kind of think that, you know, they're meeting Superman. That was actually really cool. That happened a couple times in a park. And
I had a couple kids cry. Oh. Yeah, they were like, you can't be here. Because I turned around and they were like, ah! And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Scarred from life.
Yeah, and that would sit with you for a while.
Yeah, I still feel bad about it.
That was the best part of playing Superman, and then I think the best part about playing Derek was playing a character that, like Mehcad said, was just kind of full of perseverance. He's always getting knocked down constantly, so to play a character that always finds a way to continue to move on and push forward, that's always like a fun trait to find in a character. So I think that was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, over here. What's your question?
Hi, my name's Suzanne, and I have a question for Tyler. If Superman had to choose between Malia and Peter to work with him, who would he pick and why?
Who are these people? I'm joking.
I would say Malia. I mean, yeah.
I don't blame you.
I don't think anybody could. I feel like everybody would start to question his judgment if he chose Peter. There'd be some weird, shady things going on for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yes, Supergirl, what is your question?
Hey, Supergirl.
My question's for Tyler. I've got two actually. One, have you met Ian Nelson, who played the young version of your character?
I did. Yes.
What was it like meeting him?
Medium?
Did you get tips how to play the character?
No, he did. I think he did a lot of homework. He was really good. He asked me a few questions, but I think he had done a lot of studying, and so he was, like they said, he had done his homework and was very well prepared. But really nice kid. I thought he did a great job. That was one of my favorite episodes, actually.
And second question, was there any characters you wish you had more scenes with, like Adelaide Kane, who went to Brian?
We lost a lot of people to CW. That happened quite often. I would have always liked to have had more scenes with Dylan. I thought those scenes were always really fun. So, storylines go in different directions, but at the end of the series, it was nice to be able to go back and at least have a few more of those. So.
Talking about appearing with other actors, if you guys could appear in any other of the DC TV shows, if you could cross over for an episode, which one would you like to appear in outside of Supergirl?
I thought you were just going to say general show, and I was going to say Jeopardy.
Or that.
I'd like to fight the Green Arrow. Woo! That'd be fun. Only because I'm related to him. Or Firestorm.
Right.
Versus Mehcad.
Mehcad, what about you?
I would like Grant Gustin to like rush at me and then I knock him out with my shield. That would be fun. Not because I don't like Grant, I like Grant. I just think it'll be fun. I have a weird imagination.
I'd say the Flash as well, actually, just because I want to do the race.
Alright. Hey, who do you guys think will win?
Superman or the Flash would win in a race?
The Flash.
Well, of course, you said Flash.
Okay, well now I gotta do it just because we gotta prove you're all wrong. He's right here, guys.
Yeah, he's right here, dude.
Yeah, where's Grant? Grant's not here.
Yeah, Grant's not here, guys. That's crazy. He right in his face? Dang, London. Ouch, son.
And yes, fantastic. Top, what is your name and what's your question?
My name's Rabia. Welcome to London, by the way. I hope you like it.
Thanks, that was a nice warm reception for him.
My question is, if all your characters fell ill, which Disney character would you call to take your place?
That got dark quick.
Ursula.
Good choice.
Peter Pan?
Yes. Good choice.
I think Peter Pan would actually make a good Superman in some ways. I'm gonna go with Aladdin because we need diversity.
Ursula's purple.
That's racist.
Stuffing.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Thank you very much for your question. Yes, over here. What's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name's Adela. Oh, sorry. Hi, my name's Adela Fleming, and I'm from Texas.
What? You're from Texas?
Yeah,
Where?
McAllen.
Answer that. You're in a room full of strangers.
McAllen.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from Austin, Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Howdy.
I don't know if you know where McAllen is. It's
Yeah, I used to camp out there, Camp Allen.
Oh wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
No, it's
A personal moment.
My question was for Tyler, actually. No. Not like that. Not like that.
Sorry, I'm just taking this knife out my back real quick. Somebody stuck me.
So if Teen Wolf weren't finished and you could choose to star there or continue on Supergirl, which would you choose? Which do you like more?
Oh, come on!
Yes,
Answer it.
I'm not from Texas, by the way.
It's all good.
I would say this is not a preference of which one I like. I did a lot of episodes of Teen Wolf, so I feel like that chapter of my life has had like a close to it. Supergirl is still something that I've only done a few times. So purely for the reason that I haven't experienced as much on that set and told enough of that story yet, I'd probably try to do that.
Nice. Thank you. Bye.
We are almost out of time, so this will be our last question, I'm afraid, so make it a good one.
Okay, my question's for Italia and Mehcad. In season 1, you both worked opposite Melissa playing Karen Danvers as Supergirl, obviously. What was it like playing her as Red K Supergirl?
The
red Kryptonite, and she kind of she went mad.
Oh, that was so fun.
It was
She was so feisty and sassy. It was great.
I was afraid of her. She was like, Melissa's so good. It's just like, she was, because there was a dance scene that we had, and she just like pulls me in and starts kissing me and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, you're so smooth. This is crazy. Like, and she's normally pretty like, musical theater, like kind of sweet. Like you said, like makes the grandma noises. you know, always reading a book. So like, just to see her so sassy was crazy. I was like, who are you?
Right, guys, I'm afraid that is all our time. It's up and away. But please put your hands together for our panel.
you, guys.
Thank you, guys.